Rolling Stones emerged on the English music scene in the early 60s. Like the Beatles, they imitated the American rock and roll scene. Unlike the Beatles, however, they refused to soften their image once they became popular. It could even be said that their rough and rebellious image contributed to their popularity.
I used to wear a tie, but the boys didn't wear ties, and I thought I looked a bit out if I wore one, so I stopped wearing them. But then I found, Charlie starts wearing ties again, and it was smart. Brian wore one for quite a while.
Let's face it, the future as a Rolling Stone is very uncertain.
Could I have a piece of, could I have another sugar, please? You need some more tea. Another tea for 4 here. Thank you.
Well, really, all of it's acting, you know. But it really, there's a difference between acting and not enjoying it, and acting and just doing what you want to do. It's like getting into a part. You know, say you're doing a play, you just act it, or really you get inside it.
My ultimate aim in life was never to be a pop star. I enjoy it, with reservations, but I'm not really sort of satisfied, either artistically or personally. Oh, I have a lot of regrets, but generally speaking, no. I'm very satisfied with what's happened.
The members of the band were not particularly gifted musicians, but there was an energy and a rawness in their music that people responded to.
Why do you like the Rolling Stones?
Because Keith is beautiful and they're great, and because they're so ugly that they're appealing. I think that the Rolling Stones have a lot more sex appeal than the Beatles do, and I think when the Rolling Stones are performing on stage, there's a lot more excitement coming through to the audience than when the Beatles are performing.
God almighty, I don't know anything about groups of any description. I should have my head examined, I know that much for a cert. I don't know anything about groups at all. Of course, if I was about What am I now? So I was about 22 years younger. I'd have a little group of my own if I could. There's a bit of go in me still, even though I am 40.
I'm not going to see any particular individual. It's just the Stones in general. I like their music. I like the way they play it.
Would you like to go and see them?
Yeah.
Who in particular do you like in the group?
Mick Jagger.
I like
Mick Jagger. Why?
I don't know, I just like it.
What about him do you like? You like his
movement.
his movement?
He's big.
What do you like about him?
Everything. Everything.
Well, what's everything?
Everything.
What's everything?
Oh, jeez. They're different, I suppose.
In what way?
In every way. In every way. But I like everything about him.
Well, what?
Especially his hair, the colour of it. I like his hair.
Just his hair?
I like him. I just like him. I don't know why. It's very nice.
Why?
I don't know. I just like them singing. I like them singing. Yeah, I like them singing.
What do you like about Bill Wyman?
I just like him.
Why do you like Mick?
Because I just like him.
What?
I like his style and,
His
style, when he's singing.
Here. You're going to say a few words. Hello. Did you play in a group?
Yeah, the Creatures.
The
Creatures.
The Creatures. When did you first grow your hair long?
About 18 months ago.
Why?
Because I like long hair. Very generous. Very generous.
You don't go on, go on. You don't go like that. No, well, you go like that, won't you? I don't know. You know, go on.
Jagger's frantic and contorted movements on stage became a model for the whole generation of rock and roll singers.
It seems strange to say because if I say the violence of it, which is one part, which if you ask most young people, they say they don't like the violence, they don't like the war, or they don't like that. Yeah, they themselves are violent, which doesn't seem to make sense.
No, it seems you're encouraging it in a way.
But it's I suppose I don't think you have to be violent to overcome it. But some people do, and when they're violent against the police, it's just their way, the only way they have of showing it. Because they're not organised.
How would you organise them?
I wouldn't want to organise them. I don't feel that I'm a leader of them, whoever we're talking about. if you're a realist, and if you see the world as you think it is, as it really is, if you try and see it as it really is, you can be just as angry and write from anger. Okay. But I don't think, oh, I'm screwed up, I must write a song about that. It doesn't happen like that. It's just a lack of people liking what you do. It's not a secret of anything. It's just doing the best you can and putting everything you've got into it and hoping people will like it. There's no real secret to that. Either people do like it or they don't. As long as people know about it, they have to know that you exist, which is a very important part of, if you're somebody new who's starting out in pop music, everyone has to know you exist. And once they know you exist and they hear what you have to offer, either they like you or they don't. And if they don't like you, which happened to us in America, when people knew about us, but they didn't like us. They didn't buy records until Satisfaction, which was a really big one. Well, because I just feel part of the thing that started off, I suppose. And I feel part of the people that I won't. This isn't the first generation that's questioned the moral values of the last generation, but I think it's one of the first generations which has not had to worry about the material things. Because if you're hungry, you haven't really got much time to worry about morals. I mean, when I say morals, I mean like fighting wars and whether this is right or this is right for this society to do that. If you're hungry, and if your stomach's full of food, you can start worrying about them. And this is what's happened. Is people will worry and worry more, and they'll have less and less work to do. As the years go on, they won't have hardly any work to do because there will be machines to do it for them, which has already happened. And so that they'll have to work like 4 hours a day, and the rest of the time they've got to do something else.
Why do you think something else?
Well, that something else isn't going to be what people think. It isn't going to be just jumping around and swimming and just reading books and going to movies, because you get very bored with those things very quickly. Well, we don't know. That's the problem. But it's going to be. I hope it's going to be something good. I don't know.
Where will the baby's dimple be?
He used to top the bills.
Who?
Is that Max Bygrave? Billy Max Bygrave.
Max Bygrave. Oh,
yeah.
you
need an...
Oh, in Castanella by the sea. Oh, what about
What about that? Well, Ken Dodd, only last week, Ken Dodd. And here he is, our top of the bill star, someone you've been waiting for, Ken Dodd.
On what? The thing is with some of these, I imagine people living in them, you know. And you say, I love this sort of thing. But I can't imagine living in this.
Good at it. Get more badges on it. Great. Yeah.
Now it's up to about 50. 3 years.
50. But they're right little villains, them Arabs, though, because they remake things, don't they? Thank you, Nat.
Russian one, isn't it?
Yeah. A friend of mine in New York who we went to see, he went to see the exhibition and he was so up to see, sort of so hung up on them, you know, he got all excited about them. He started making them for himself, you know. Buying lovely prints of things, you know, of them, say, and cutting it out and making it up on wood and everything. He does them so well, man, it's ridiculous. He puts about 3 coats of varnish on the print, and it comes up, you know, good. And he scratches it as though the paint is cracked. Fantastic, they look so real.
Nice tea. This is a commercial. Nice tea? Yes, it's Lipton. John Lennon says one shouldn't drink Don't you think it's nice tea, Keith? I think it's lovely tea. Where did you get it?
Super tea.
This is still a commercial.
Maybe it's because I'm a Londoner. La 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 la. Maybe it's because I'm a Londoner. That I love the world wherever I go. La 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 la. Maybe it's because I'm a Londoner. London town. Let's go. Quick, come on then. Come on. One line, fresh. Blue.
Would you know they were really... Don't show that thing at me. That's Percy Thrower's bird watching equipment. And here is the lesser spotted nighthawk. And there we have the lesser spotted nighthawk making its nightly mate. And here we are on Netherwick. And as you can see, there's a colony of lesser spotted Gredgewicks, and I think they're in the mating season. Now let me have a look. Oh yes, and here he comes, a lesser spotted Gredgewick. And you see, he's toddling up to the female.
you in the first house? Just for the last few minutes.
What did you think of it?
Well, I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah? Did you enjoy it?
You couldn't hear it.
You couldn't hear it, but did you enjoy the overall effect of it?
No, I think the screaming was a little bit much.
The screaming was too much. Well, on the next house, we'll turn the screaming down.
I think they have, on the whole, they have quite a good effect. It's the people themselves, I think, cause any immoral effect that turns out. It's nothing to do with the Stones themselves, as far as I'm concerned. I think they just get hysterical. I don't think it frees anything at all. A lot of it's show more than anything else. But the Stones themselves, I think, are good artists.
It's better that they got all their high spirits out in a cinema watching an act than went around sort of getting it elsewhere.
If you like to put it that way, yes. As long as they don't damage the cinema.
Right. Right.
Or the Stones.
Right. I'll second that.
I always wanted, when I was in junior school and everything, I always wanted to be a musician. I always wanted to be in a band. And I knew it was so impossible and so unlikely that I would be, that I just dismissed it completely from my mind. And suddenly, last year, I remembered, you know, after all that time, suddenly remembered that I'd always wanted to be, and now I was, you know. It didn't mean a thing to me anymore. It was such a big ambition, it was unobtainable when I was little.
What's your ambition now?
To be a musician. I'm not a musician, I just play in a band, you know. I can get by on things we do, and perhaps I'm better than average, or better than some and worse than some. But you can always learn, and you never become as good as you'd like to, I don't think, no matter what you play. And to be a musician, I think I'd have to really work for a few years and really concentrate and practice and take lessons and read and everything. I'm not a musician, just play music. I think there is a difference.
Why did you take up music?
Well, this is it, you see. I didn't look upon it as saying I'm music. I just took up the drums.
Yes.
And a musician to me, if someone said he's a great musician, I'd say, oh really? And then I think musicians, you know, a musician as music is an art form in itself, and I haven't created an art form. I play music that is, it doesn't need an art form. It's not a fact. And I don't seriously consider. If someone said to me, someone said to me, you're playing with Shostakovich next week, I would say, wonderful. How could I play with Shostakovich, you see? Because I can't read. I'm not a musician of that caliber. Maybe it's just standards I'm looking at.
But surely when Shostakovich is creating music, he's not actually reading music, he's feeling it.
Yeah, I agree with this.
He knows how to put it down on paper.
Yeah, I don't. I don't know how to put half of what I maybe feel down.
But that doesn't matter, does it?
Maybe it doesn't matter, but I don't see that if it... Maybe it's just an inferiority complex I got. Maybe I'm great after all.
If you weren't then a music maker, what would you like to be?
Design.
Design what?
A designer, because I was one. I don't know, just a graphic designer.
Would you be content to be just a designer?
I don't know. I'd call myself a designer because I couldn't be a painter.
Why couldn't you be a painter?
Because I'm not versed well enough in the language of painting.
Well, if you want to be an artist, surely you have to learn a language.
Yeah, well...
Couldn't you learn a language?
I don't think so. I don't think I'm talented enough.
It doesn't need talent, surely. It needs discipline.
No, I don't need a lot of talent as well.
What sort of talent?
I think talent of knowing, which is...
Well, knowing comes from discipline.
Not necessarily.
Surely the talent is to have an imagination.
Yeah.
Don't you think you're imaginative with your work?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you ever feel that you're evolving something new that hasn't been done before?
What, when I play?
Yeah.
No.
Do you ever try?
No.
Would you like to?
I couldn't because I think the limitations pretty strict.
What? You mean of the instrument?
The just popular music is restricting in a way.
Are you a happy person?
Me?
Yes.
I'm not happy here, but I'm...
Where are you happy?
At home.
You have a home?
Yeah, you see, this is where maybe I differ from the rest. The fact that, like, when I'm at home, I can pick a book up and play a record. But, you know, and I have a wife and that. It makes you a bit sort of cosy in a way, I suppose, but I like it. I'm happier at home. I'm happiest at home.
Do you find, therefore, that having a home is in some ways incompatible, then, with being what you are?
I don't think it fits in with what I am, if that's what you mean. It doesn't at all, no. I mean, it's not expected to. That's the main fact. But it, you know, I enjoy it.
What about you, Brian? How is it that marriage then has eluded you?
A very simple answer to that question. I haven't found a girl I want to marry. In any case, the whole prospect of marriage rather frightens me. It's rather like signing a contract. Whenever I sign a contract for anything, I want to read it carefully because, you know, you're signing a part of you away. And when you get married, I feel that you're signing your whole life away. And if I could get married for a year, just sign a year's contract, I would probably be much happier at the thought of getting married.
Would you recommend this practice of having a year's trial to other people, or is this just something...
Well, I'm not really advocating a year's trial, because I believe that... yeah, I believe that two people can fall in love very quickly. And I think they can find out about each other very quickly if they're in love. And I think... So actually, no, I don't advocate a trial marriage, because I think people, when they go into marriage, even if it's for a year's trial, I think they usually know whether their personalities are going to be compatible or not. But it's just that problems and antagonisms do arise in later life, which may not have been foreseeable at all at the time of marriage. Usually I think these things crop up after a year. I don't think the trial marriage is going to alter people's minds at all. I wasn't really serious when I was talking about the year's contract. But it's just this permanency of the whole thing that does rather frighten me.
If your career as a Rolling Stone, as a pop star, suddenly came to an end, what would you do?
This is why I have no sort of concrete ideas on the future, because I really don't know when things are going to come to an end or what's going to happen. There are, as I said, very definite things that I want to do, both artistically and sort of also far more practical things.
Such what sort of things artistically?
Well, I'm very interested in making a film. I have a friend who has turned me on very much. The script is almost complete, so I'm sort of working on that.
Could you tell us something about it?
Well, it's really, really, I described it the other day as a sort of new interpretation of the eternal theme of love. It's really just that.
And in what way is it a new interpretation?
Well, I want to sort of just use two people in the film, man and woman.
Isn't this a fairly old idea of love?
And third, but I want the third character to be love, which I want to try and project through the medium of the film, using sort of different techniques, using movements and images and symbols.
Is the third person a person then, or an abstraction? No, it's an abstraction. It may not be a completely new basic idea, but I'm sure that the way this is going to turn out, it will be something very new. It's a very surrealistic sort of thing. But I'm not doing it for any commercial gain at all. I'm just doing it because I feel it's something I want to do. What is surrealism? Have you used the word?
I regard surrealism as a sort of, I see it as an abstract realism, if you like.
I feel like Robert Browning. Robert Browning. That sort of early Jewish poet. Right. You know, Keats, baby.
Did he write Keats?
No, actually I was thinking of Shelley.
I wandered lonely as a cloud.
That was Wordsworth.
I wandered lonely as a cloud. Here, don't call me a Burke.
She told me the cloud and I left it on there.
Here he is, a Svengali. Svengali away with his Irish railways out. What Svengali is he thinking up now, folks? Only time can tell. Oh yeah, let's have some presents. Love.
Santa, bring my baby back to me. Santa, bring my baby back to me. Well, you after me too?
This number has been like, this number has been to me like maybe your father or mother were to you. As you know, my mother and father died in my early years. And
we always remember Mom and Papa. We like to say
when I was a little boy at 5 years old.
It's impossible for me to be here tonight. I only have to thank you.
My musical arranger and director.
My first friend, personal companion, procurer, and creator, Johnny Mathis.
Thank you. A round of applause is necessary. Thank you. Yeah, well, you know, sometimes a man... What's that do? And you squeeze hard in the arms of... What's that one? Tonight. Are you lonesome tonight?
Who do you think you are? Mick Jagger.
Here we are, with a roving microphone somewhere in a pub, in the heart of Northern Ireland. And here is a talent yet undiscovered.
The Northern Ireland Hospital for Sick Children.
Yes, and here he is, entertaining the Sick Children's Hospital in Northern Ireland. And we think he could really be something so... Don't exist. There's something subconsciously supernatural which I can't tangibly put down.
I can contemplate, meditate, premeditate, relate at the same time.
Yeah.
Ding 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 on the ding 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 on the ding 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 on the ding 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 ding